Hello and welcome to the Elemental Entrepreneurship Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I am here today with our Gemini season reading for the collective. If you are new here, I do these readings on the first day of a new astrological season, and the cards are always pre-shuffled, prayed over. If you see me looking over here, it's because I have notes because I want to make sure I don't leave anything out. I always ask the same six questions in the same order and then draw a shadow card for our shadow work reading or our shadow work focus for the season. So I'm about to jump into these cards, but I will say before I get into them, my personal bias take is that there is a special part of this reading that is really for people who are considering joining Powerhouse Mastermind and keep telling themselves they're going to put it off or they're going to join next year. That's just one of the ways that I'm really taking this. So if you're in my world and in my orbit and you've been watching me talk about Powerhouse Mastermind, my private year-long mastermind for established entrepreneurs that is starting in just a couple of weeks, and you're going, not me, not yet. Got to do something first, got to make money first, got to wait until next year. I want to do it, but it doesn't seem logical for me to do it right now. I do feel like there's a part of this reading that is geared for you. So perk your ears up. All right, so we're just going to jump right in with what's going on right now. And what's going on right now is it is time for you to bring it into form. What is the it that I'm talking about? It's your work, it's your creation, it's the thing that you know that you are here to make. It's your next offer in your business, it's the book that you want to write, it's you have some big dream that you've been holding and thinking about as like this is my next step. It's time for you to actually make it. The world doesn't just need your dreams. The world doesn't just need your big ideas. You are actually supposed to make them. If you have the idea, it's because you're meant to create it. If you have a dream, it's literally already yours in the spirit realm. You need to match that dream with your action, right? That is the law of massive action. I always think of it like the NPR pledge drive. The universe will match your donation. When you show up and start putting work, effort, energy, time, money, focus into your dream, all of the things that you need to make this dream all the way manifest into reality will be brought to you. But if you're sitting and thinking about what it's going to be like, and you're like, but the conditions aren't coming, the opportunities aren't coming, the collaborations and the connections that I need to make this happen aren't coming. Well, yeah, they're not coming because you're not moving. You have to move. Your dreams come to you because they want to live, they want to be manifested, and they want to live through you. So the spirit is saying right now, you need to get to your desk. You need to get into the studio. You're not just supposed to dream right now. It's time to make the thing. You are being asked by spirit to honor yourself with the commitment to complete your inspired tasks and bring your dreams into form. Spirit is asking you to commit to completing things, not only because doing so is going to help you grow, right? Becoming the person you're meant to be, the person who creates the things, but also because this thing that you're going to create is going to help other people. It's going to benefit the collective. You've been tasked with something and maybe it feels really big and a little daunting and you're like, who am I to make this thing? You're the person who got tapped on the shoulder by God to fucking make the thing. That's who you are. You're the person who got the calling on your life to make the thing. You're the person who got the idea. The idea could have gone to anybody else. It came to you and it said, will you please make me? You don't get to pick. That's who you are. You're the person who was gifted with the vision. So now you've got to make the thing because it wants to be birthed through you so that it can serve the collective, so it can serve everyone. It's not about you. Your work's not about you. Your work is about the people who are going to be benefited by your work. It is not time to delay. It is not time to dilly dally. It's not time to get caught up in how it's all going to work out. It's not time to make 1,700 plans to make yourself feel safe so that you feel like you have control over how the whole thing goes. It's not time for that. You need to make it. That's where you're at right now. You've planned enough. You've thought enough. You need to make the shit. When you start taking steps to bring it forward and bring it into form, all the support you need is going to show up for you. But you've got to take that step. You have to acknowledge also that there's going to be some grief in making the thing. There always is. And that's part of why you're holding back. We're going to get into that. Um, there's like the vision you have for the thing you want to make where it's like perfect and has no flaws and Everything about it is exactly the way that you see it in your mind's eye. And then there's the thing you really made. And those things tend to be different. There's always a little gap between the vision we have for our creation and what we actually make. And we always experience some grief as creators about that gap. The gap will never be closed, not entirely. We will almost never be able to make something that is exactly the way we saw it in our original vision. And there's grief in that, but you have to stop being perfectionistic and just make the thing so that you can have your next idea and make your next thing, because your next idea is already in the queue waiting for you, but you're not getting to your next idea because you're not making this idea. The other thing, and I talk about this a lot for my creatives, is that frequently our first vision is the fifth version. The vision we're seeing in our head of the thing we want to make is actually a really developed and iterated version of that idea. We just don't know that. So we're not seeing the first draft in our head. We're seeing what the thing could become after we've created it and refined it and reworked it and polished it and launched it once and sold it a few times and gotten real world feedback and done it again and done it again. That's what we're seeing. And we want to skip all the iterations and just land at that perfected version. That's not real life. So you just have to know the vision that you have in your head is not the first draft. The vision you have in your head is what the thing could become, but it can only become that if you make the first draft and you get through the grief of the gap and you allow yourself to be like, yeah, the first draft is not going to be my vision, but the fifth draft might. So I just have to start making. You have to stop being perfectionistic and make the thing. The thing that you're going to create is not going to unfold exactly the way you think it's going to. It's not going to be exactly what you think it's going to be right now. And it's not going to happen by traditional routes necessarily, but it's still meant to be, and you're still meant to make it. So that's where you are right now. It's time for you to get off your ass and get it into form. Jumping back to what I said about feeling like this ties into Powerhouse, this is for the person who's been sitting on your next level and your new idea. And part of it is you need accountability. You need support. You need somebody who can walk you through the steps. You need someone who can hold you through the iterative process. You need someone who can help you manage your expectations as you go through your first draft and your second draft and your third draft and keep you on track so that you keep building toward creating the ultimate version of what it is that you see in your mind's eye. If you could have done it by yourself, you would have done it already. You need support. And this first step that you can take toward making this thing happen is actually enlisting the support that's going to guarantee that you make it happen by giving you the structure and the stability to bring this to fruition. I'm just going to tie that in. So what's the block right now that you're having to bringing this thing into form? The block is, what do you feel? Essentially, the block is that you are way too caught up in your head. And that is pretty much the theme for the rest of the reading, is this like between head and heart issue. You are super caught up in logic and the mental principle. So it's really interesting that in Gemini season, an air sign, Mercury ruled, all about the mental principle and the way that we communicate and the way that we express our ideas and the way that we connect with other people through our ideas, that so much of this reading is actually about you needing to get out of your head, because there's thinking and then there's overthinking. And Gemini is a pretty impulsive sign, right? Gemini is a pretty spontaneous sign. Gemini is a pretty creative sign, a pretty action oriented, I have an idea and I move sign. You're getting into I have an idea and I rework the idea for 75 years. So the next step you need to take, the way that you need to remove the block around bringing your ideas into form, is you need to stop trying to logic this thing through. Your logic, quote unquote, is actually like mostly other people's opinions. It's other people saying what they think you should do, what they think the right way is, what they think the order of operations is. It is stuff you've read. It is, right, all of these very reasonable things in your mind that you have made up or interpreted to mean that you should wait and that you should delay and that you should get, I call it ducks in a row procrastination. I have to do this before I can do this, and then I can do this, and then I can do this, and then I can take that step. It feels very logical. All of it is overcomplication, overthinking, and giving you permission to stay exactly where you are and not make the thing so you don't have to risk anything. That's not where you're supposed to be right now. That is a block. What other people think is the right idea And again, maybe it is investing in a mastermind right now. And you're like, it is illogical for me to do this. It's financially illogical for me to do this. It doesn't make any sense based on where I am in my business for me to do this. If somebody else was looking at this on paper, the decision doesn't make sense, but your gut keeps telling you this is the right move. It's the right move. Your path is yours. It is meant to be created and lived only by you, and no one else can be the source of your decision-making power without negative repercussions for both of you in the long run. Right now, you are too caught up in thinking things through. You're trying to logic everything, and you're stuck in your decision-making process because you're just endlessly making like pros and cons lists of all the different ways that this can go. And sometimes we have to accept that any step forward is the best step, because all that's really needed is movement. And once you take a step and get moving, you can always change your direction as you go. If you're slightly off base, you can shift. You don't have to be perfect. There is almost never a perfect choice. You just have to get into motion. So this overthinking is because you're convincing yourself there is a perfect choice, that there's perfect timing, that there's a perfect way to take your next step, and that you'll know it when you see it. No, you got to go with your gut. You got to just move. You got to get out of trying to make the perfect, safest choice. That is all us trying to control things because we're afraid of the unknown. We can only ever really know the value of any choice in hindsight anyway. At the time you make a decision, we only really have our internal wisdom to rely upon. And that's really all you need. You've been punishing yourself by running through every single possible choice and way that everything could go and getting caught up in just overthinking everything. You need to just set things into motion. You need to just make a choice. But the way you need to make the choice is from your feelings, from your gut, from your body, not from your thoughts and not from anyone else's thoughts or opinions. Your feelings. You've got to get in touch with what you feel right now and go from there, even and especially if it doesn't make sense on paper, if it doesn't feel quote unquote logical. If your gut is telling you to go a certain direction, but your mind is telling you it doesn't make sense, you're supposed to follow your gut right now. That is the block for you because you're trying to be so logical and so safe. You are at a crossroads right now between your head and your heart and how you make decisions. And simply choosing to do things differently right now without putting a lot of drama on the decision is going to be a powerful trigger for a bunch of new magic to enter your life just by taking this different approach. And we're going to talk about why in the next card. You need to be open to doing something that makes you uncomfortable, but it is going to be exciting and interesting. You need to open up to the creative magic of life and don't worry so much about exactly how it's going to work out. The greater creative flow of life is sorting all the details out always. And you are part of that. We are all part of that. So your job right now is to spend some time with your feelings and know that when you lead from your feelings, everything's going to work out perfectly. Again, tying this back to Powerhouse, if your gut is telling you this is the thing, this is where I need to be, this is where I'm trying to go, this is the support that's going to take me to my next level, and your head is giving you a million one reasons why you should wait, that's actually your block right now. Go with the gut, go with the feelings, even if it doesn't make sense on paper, even if other people are like, if I were you, I would wait, but your body says don't wait. The block right now is the waiting. You're not supposed to wait. Okay. So, what is the gift that comes when you allow yourself to make the feelings-based decision and finally get out of your perfectionism and your attempt to control everything through logic? The gift is beyond the mind, the heart beats. Essentially, your entire life, you've been at war between your head and your heart because you've been trying to make your head the winner all the time. The mind sees and plans and strategizes. The heart feels, responds, senses, intuits. The mind is programmed by society and school and social norms and social media and culture and other people's opinions and thoughts and what our parents think we should do and all of these other things. The mind is constant chatter. Your heart is connected to the rhythm of the universe. Your heart is connected to the totality of sacred life on earth and life not on earth, of the cosmos. Your heart is your connection to oneness and knowing. Your heart is the connection to universal love, which is creativity, constantly blossoming, telling you which way to go based on what is more alive, based on the direction where you express yourself the most. The way of the mind is what society says about how we should be figuring everything out, especially when it comes to business. The way of the heart is more subtle. It is more subterranean. Its intelligence is about how to shift with exquisite sensitivity and how to sense the way forward. It is time for you to be open to this new way of doing things so that you can benefit from the intelligence of your heart. So the gift that you're going to receive by just making this first feelings-based decision of I'm going for it, I'm moving from my feelings. The gift that opens up is that this lifelong pattern you've had of choosing your head over your heart and that struggle is going to go away. You've been living in this way where your mind is running everything, and then you have to try to get your heart on board with your mind's decisions. And that has been a struggle for most of your life because that doesn't feel right for you. And it doesn't feel right for you because it's not right for you. Your mind is important, but it's not supposed to lead. Your mind's job is actually to serve the truths of your heart. We're supposed to let our heart decide what's right, our feelings decide what's right, and then put your brilliant mind behind figuring out how to make that thing come true, not the other way around. So your head and your heart have been in conflict for most of your life because everyone's telling you should do it this logical way, you should do it this conditioned way, you should do it the way that society says. And you're like, okay, I guess that's going to be the smart thing that's going to keep me safe. So I guess that's what I'm going to do. But it's not what feels right for you. And so this has brought you a lot of struggle and even suffering. And so as you move through this block of what do you feel by choosing to go with your feelings in this situation and follow the thing that feels true for your heart, you're going to finally get your head and your heart in the right order. Your mind can finally surrender, and you're going to feel that your heart is leading you and that your mind is learning how to follow the guidance of your heart rather than your mind trying to be out front, sorting everything out in advance and keeping you safe and protecting you by keeping you from taking any risks, by trying to control all the outcomes, by trying to be perfect. It is going to feel like such a relief to let go of that old way. Your mind is going to become more relaxed and more trusting. There's going to be a period of adjustment as you get used to living without so much of a false sense of control and without so much mental busyness. But instead, you're going to have more wisdom, more energy in the present moment. With that future forecasting freed up, now you're going to have more energy available to create. And you're going to be able to create more deeply and more beautifully. You're going to have more mental energy to put toward this project that you're trying to bring into form. So if you've been finding that you just can't plan and strategize like you used to, or that like you feel like you know less now than you've ever known about where you're headed or how you're supposed to get there, that is a sign that this shift has already started happening. You're not supposed to figure it out mentally. You're supposed to be following your heart. And that is the gift that's going to open up in your life when you make this feelings-based decision to just fucking get to moving on building your dream. So your guidance for dealing with other people as you go through this is what is already within you. You got to stop looking to other people for the answers. You got to stop looking to quote unquote logic for the answers. Also, if you're telling yourself you're not ready to make your next level thing, you're not ready to do this dream because you need to take a course first or get another certification first or learn something from someone else first, that's not what you need. You know what to do. You know how to do it. It is time for you to build on what you already know. It's time for you to implement what you already know. Again, tying this back to the mastermind, because I do think this is for people who've been on that fence. There's always a time when we have to get out of student mode and into implementation mode. And for a lot of us, we don't want to get out of that mode because we feel very safe in student mode. And taking more courses and learning more about how to do the thing we like to do is really fun. And that allows us to never move into the risky place of now putting the thing out, making our version of the thing and putting it out in the world. And it is time for you to do that right now. You don't need to learn any more stuff about it. It's time for you to share your version of it. Also, if you've been looking for other people to tell you what to do about this situation and how to do it, you've been seeking far and wide for information, confirmation. Someone just tell me exactly what to do, exactly what steps should I take? How do I do it? You already know what to do. You already know what to do from your feelings. You don't need to ask anyone else what they think your next move should be. You don't need to ask anybody else how they think you should make this thing. You just need to back yourself and trust that everything you need to be successful is already inside you. Everything necessary for success, you already know it. So all you need to do is accept that that's true and act like it right now. Back yourself on the making of the thing, which might mean invest in help to get that done. Back yourself. It is time. Your inner knowing that it is time is correct. This is good news. There is a happy ending for you. As soon as you stop trying to skip forward to the next chapter or right? Like plan it all out at some point in the future, you got to do it now. It is time for you to be completely present in the now and to allow the next phase to happen naturally without forcing it. And maybe all that means is you have to make a choice. You have to reach out to someone. You have to join a program. You have to get some support behind you. Whatever that next step is that gets the ball rolling, that signals to you and to the universe, we're fucking moving. This is happening now. It's not at some point in the future and it's not behind me. It's right now. The next step you need to make is right now. And you don't need to check in with anyone else to make sure that it makes sense to them. You don't need to ask somebody if the decision is logical. If your feelings say, do this, that's the move. You can trust yourself and back yourself and just move. Just tell everybody, here's what I'm doing. Don't ask them. This oracle also wants you to know that you're more ready than you think you are. You're more prepared than you realize. You don't need an army of resources in order to move ahead. You just need to take the first step. And again, you're going to find that when you start to move, the resources are going to show up for you. There will become apparent for you. If you're waiting for the resources first and then you move, I'm waiting to see it and then I'll believe it. That's not how manifestation works. You have to believe it so that you can create it, so that you can see it. Anybody can wait until they see proof and then believe it. That's not what leaders do. Leaders enroll themselves in their own crazy vision and say, I'm going to put everything behind making this real, and then everyone will see, including me. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You need to back yourself. And then you need to enjoy surrendering to the unfoldment of life, right? Life unfolding through you, through your action, through your motion. That's life unfolding through you. And then you get to see where it goes and how it all plays out. That's you participating with life rather than trying to mentally control it, which you can't do anyway. So, what is the message from your spirit guides around how to do this? Release the dark wound and let love live. Stop being perfectionistic. The dark wound is perfectionism. Your spirit guides want you to know that all of this waiting that you've been doing, all this waiting for the future, saying you're not ready yet, saying you shouldn't back your own ideas, going against what you feel for what seems quote unquote logical, all of that is just the dark wound of perfectionism being gripped around your fucking brilliance. You have to let go of the death grip of perfectionism and let your ideas live. Again, back to that thing of you're struggling because the vision you see in your head is the most iterated form of the idea. The vision you see in your head of your offer is the seven-figure vision of your version of your offer where you already have hundreds of clients and it's super polished and beautiful. It's not the first draft. And that gap is making you perfectionistic and overanalyzing. It's making you not move. You've got to let the idea live. You've got to let it be a baby. You've got to let it have a life on earth. If you're not letting yourself launch your ideas because you're telling yourself you can't do it or you can't do it at the level you see it in your head yet, you can't do it well enough, You have some really complex vision for how it needs to be, so you won't just let it be a first draft. You're holding these ideas back from getting to be birthed on earth. And they have been gifted to you because they want to live through you. They want to live. They're coming to you and they're saying, I can't make myself exist on earth. I need your body. I need you to do it for me. And you're like, well, I can't do it perfect, so you don't get to be alive. What? Not cool. You are being asked to honor the path of your own creativity and what feels exciting and joyful and different for you. You have to let this thing live. It wants to be brought to form. You have to release the dark wounding of false belief that you don't have the right things yet. It's not going to be good enough yet. That if the thing is not a New York Times bestseller, it's not worth writing, right? For the person who's already worried that publishers are going to reject the book that you haven't started writing, this is you. You're comparing your unfinished funnel to someone else's seven-figure business and deciding that you're not good enough or worthy enough to succeed because you don't know how to make your first draft look like that. That's not what it's supposed to be. There are so many stories of successful artists who almost threw away the project that made their career because they were getting too into the dark wound. They were doubting themselves. They were uncertain. They were thinking it wasn't good enough. They were thinking nobody was going to like it. And they almost threw it away, which means you almost lost that work. We all, the collective, almost lost that book, that album, that movie. And I want you to think about how many times that probably has actually happened, that somebody had a vision for what would have been our favorite song, our favorite poem, our favorite book, our favorite movie, and someone threw it away because they thought nobody's going to like this. That's tragic. It's a literal fucking tragedy that work does not get allowed to live. Do not let this happen to you. Spirit is saying, do not let this happen to your work. You're meant to create it. Whether something is meant to make seven figures and be hugely commercially successful, or something is just meant to be for your own therapeutic healing and growth, it still has to be allowed to live without judgment or criticism or evaluating it too soon. It still deserves to exist. Only with time and patience will the thing actually reveal to you what it's meant to be in the world. But it has to be made. And it has to be given a chance to have that life. This message is also amplified anytime you draw beyond the mind, the heart beats. And we did. Remember, that's the gift that's going to come from us backing what we feel we need to do. So your spirit guides are saying the reason you're not moving is all about perfectionism. All this quote unquote logic about thinking you need to wait and thinking it's not the right time and thinking that it doesn't make sense and thinking that you can't put up the money and thinking that you aren't ready and thinking you need to learn more. All of that is perfectionism. All of it's fake. It's not logic. It feels very logical to you. It's not logic. It's just your mind convincing you that you get to stay right where you are and not risk anything, and that you don't have to face the unknown, and you don't have to open yourself up to the vulnerability of creating something and sharing it with the world and then letting it have a life and then letting it expose itself to you. And you don't actually get to control every single step of everything. And you don't fucking like that. So you're trying to convince yourself that it makes perfect sense that you have all these really good reasons that you should wait on making the thing. It's bullshit. You're bullshitting yourself. Fucking stop it. It's not me. Spirit said it. So finally, advice from your spirit guides on how to bring all of this together is you are in the world, not of the world. It is time for you to get more naked with life. All of this protection that you're doing, that's really all it is. It's you're trying to protect yourself because you don't want to be vulnerable. We got to strip that away. It's time for you to go streaking through the world, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, naked. Strip away all the beliefs, the mental and emotional security blankets, and old patterns so that you can live more freely. Let all the conditioning that has kept life away from you fall away. This is all about your conditioned beliefs about money, time, security, having, locking away, holding, and controlling. That's what this card is about. Any conditioned beliefs about money, time, security, having, locking away, holding, and controlling. need to be surrendered and allowed to fall away from you right now. This card is about living like you're on vacation every day, right? Thinking about like, you can eat whatever, you can spend whatever, have the fun, do the thing, be a little more spontaneous, be a little more free. What would it be like if you brought some of that mentality into your business? This is about softening the way you are with life and not trying to control everything so deeply. All of it is perfectionism. All of it is rooted in you trying to protect yourself from the unknown. And you can't have a big, juicy, creative life full of making things and sharing them with the world and impacting the collective and connecting with other humans and control everything. You just can't have both. And you're not meant to have a small life. So you know what you got to do. Drop trow and run, bitch. Having more implicit trust and faith in flow. This is about the ability to bend and stretch as needed so that everything gets to be accomplished. This is a very advanced stage of our spiritual relationship with life, where we believe that we are held. A lot of people tell me they have faith, but then they get into perfectionism and they don't take risks. That's not what faith is. When we actually have faith, we feel sufficiently held. I believe, I know, like I know, like I know that everything always works out for me, that everything is working out for my favor. We can surrender our defenses. Sometimes we need our defenses, and at other times, it's clear that we are outgrowing our defenses, and that's where you are right now. This way of being that's all about trying to protect yourself and be logical and rational and thorough and make the quote unquote smartest on paper decision, that's all protecting you from wildness and freedom and connection and vulnerability. It's time to go. It's time to let that go. This way of being that has to do with productivity, time, control, and money, it's got to go. This card is about abundance, trusting life, living life with the fundamental belief that everything's going to turn out okay. That's what makes us feel safe to take risks, is believing it's going to turn out okay. I'm going to catch myself. Life is going to catch me. I'm going to be held. I can invest the money and I'm going to get the money back. I can put the thing out and there's going to be people who like it. I can say what I think and there's going to be people who support me. I trust that it's all working out for me. Spirit wants you so much more vulnerable and exposed in life right now. You don't need to hide behind being organized and perfect and in control or financially secure or stable. You don't need any socially acceptable face. It's time for you to loosen the strings of your own controlling nature with yourself and live in a much freer way. What's the decision that you would make if you were on vacation? Would you do it? Then do it. I don't know how y'all are on vacation, but I'm like, yeah, let's do the thing. Let's go to the party at 11 o'clock at night, midnight. Sure, why not? I'm on vacation. Let's lay in bed all day. Sure, why not? Let's buy the extra fancy things. Sure, why not? Let's be more spontaneous. Let's do the thing. Right? Stuff I don't usually do at home. That's how I move on vacation because it's vacation. So that's our mantra right now. If I was on vacation, what choice would I make? Would I say, fuck it, let's do it? If so, that's the way to go. You are shedding this old way of being because it was always too constricting for you. Your spirit has been trying to walk in shoes that were too small, and now they're pinching, they're coming apart at the seams, they are falling right off your foot. You are being stripped of internal beliefs that were not working for you. You're being stripped of external ways of being that aren't working for you, and you are being guided to trust yourself and life. You are being guided to rely on life and your own inner knowing that you've got this. You can let go of all the perfectionistic thinking that's been blocking you and all of the attempts to control everything and just trust yourself. Trust your vision. Trust life. Trust that the feeling you keep having that it's time is correct. It's time to make it happen. I don't know what could be more clear than that. So our shadow for this season is reflect. And what I really feel this card is about right now is looking back at the pattern of how long you've been holding yourself back in this way and getting honest with yourself that this is what's happening. Part of you knows it. If you've been listening to this reading this whole time, like part of you already knows, like, oh yeah, that's really what's happening. I'm trying to protect myself. Okay. Yes, I see it. It is my mind trying to rationalize me not taking the steps to build what I want to build or go for my next level, invest in the support that I know I need to build my dream, my future. I'm telling myself this all makes sense because it's just me being scared of not knowing what's going to happen. I get that. I see that that's true. That's step one. Step two is to look back at how long you've been living this way, to really reflect on the pattern. How long have you been holding yourself at the same level? And what is the pattern that you're repeating over and over and over again that keeps you unable to reach your potential? This card asks you to sit in silence and really reflect. Like, what are the emotions that you continually experience around this? Is it always, oh, not yet? Is it always a feeling of disappointment? Is it always a feeling that you are a best kept secret? Is it always the feeling that you're the person who's always stopping just shy of what you're capable of? Is it a feeling that you have wasted potential, that you know you're meant for more, but you can't figure out why you're not closing the gap on your own ambition? Like, what are the emotions that you're like, oh, this old familiar ache that I have around this? I feel this all the time, or I felt it so many times in my life. Reflect on that. When did that start? What's the first time you remember feeling that? How did your family or your parents, your caregivers deal with this kind of thing? How did they deal with their own ambition? Did they model what it's like to follow your feelings? Did you have a parent who was really spontaneous and really reckless, and that taught you don't take any risks because that's really dangerous? Did you have a parent who was really, really cautious and they instilled a fear in you of following your own dreams and told you that's not the way to do things? You're too reckless because you want to move from your heart. Like, where did you learn this from? Journal about it. Let everything that needs to come up come up. Really reflect on it. And when you do this reflective work, look at it through the lens of transformation always being possible and being like, okay, this is what I learned to do. This is what I was taught to do. This is the programming that I've been handed. This is the pattern that I've been looping in for years and years and years. And it is not working for me. And now I'm going to change it. It will be uncomfortable. My recommendation always when embracing uncomfortable change, when stepping into uncertainty, when trying to take a big swing for yourself and move into a vulnerable next level is that you do it with help, is that you do it with support, is that you do it with a coach who can guide you and co-regulate with you and keep you moving forward during the times where you start to doubt yourself and go, no, 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 I feel too raw. I feel too open. I feel too exposed. This is too scary. Just let me go back to where I was. Maybe I moved too soon. Maybe I should wait again. Maybe I should do it next year. You need somebody there to be like, this is fine. You're doing fine. Let's set your nervous system to being safe right now. Let's give you a breather, and then let's take the next step forward and keep you moving so that you can stop being stuck at the same level, so that you can stop experiencing this pain of feeling like you are always just on the other side of the level, the life, the dream that you know you're meant for, of the vision that you have in your head that you want to create, that is always just in your head and never actually in your hands where you can share it with people. Get the help you need to take the steps required to get out of this pattern. And I'm going to say again, Powerhouse Mastermind is the place to do that. I am the coach to help you. You're listening. You're here. You already feel it. You know it's true. Stop playing with me and yourself and sign up. I love you so much. There's 10 days until we start. Go to www.intuitiveedgecoaching.com/powerhouse. Fill out the application. If I'm not sure if it's the right fit, I will contact you and we can talk about it. If you have questions for me, you can DM me on Instagram at Intuitive Edge Coaching, or you can email me intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com and just say, is this right for me? Here's what I'm working on. Here are my ideas. Here are my fears. Here's what's holding me back. I really want to do it, but I'm having these feelings, and we can have a conversation about it. And if I am not the right coach for you, I will tell you that. Sometimes it happens. But if I'm like, oh, I've dealt with that. I've worked with clients who have done that before. Here's what I did for them. Here's what I think we can do for you. I'll tell you that too. And I will help you make the decision that is right for you. And if it feels appropriate to you with your consent, I will help you through whatever mindset logic blocks are coming up that are telling you, I really want this thing. And I know that it's the next right step for me, but here are my fears. Can you coach me through those fears? I actually can, and I would be happy to do so, because sometimes we need that extra little bit of reframing and support to get us to feel safe to make the right decision for ourselves, to back our own plays. I will never force that on you if you come to me with questions, but if you want that, I've had people in my DMs who are like, here are my fears and hesitations. Can you help me reframe this? Can you help coach me through this so that I can get myself to feeling good about signing up? My answer will be yes. I will be happy to do that for you. So go ahead and reach out, or just go to intuitiveedgecoaching.com/powerhouse and fill out the application, and let's get you in here, because the thing wants to be built and it's time for you to do it. Okay, love you. Bye.